Hello friends, welcome to A to Z Kids Dental. In today's video, we are going to learn about the pediatric rotary file. So basically, the pediatric rotary file, why it is important to understand is because it will help us in deciding the very important factors like which type of file we should buy, what does the specifications mean to us, why we need to follow these manufacturers instructions, and how to use these rotary files, etc, etc. So based on these things, we should always know the knowledge about the file, and then we can easily decide about these factors and various other factors. So let us begin with this video. So first thing that we will talk about in this video is about the various components of the file. So when we talk about the components, we start with the handle of the file, that is referred to as the shank of the file. The shank of the file has few important parts. One is the groove of the file. Now this groove of the file is a standard designed, that is that pediatric rotary file does not have any that it will need any smaller attachment, so definitely a specialized handpiece would be required. No, the same handpiece that we use for the permanent rotary files, or the files that are used for the permanent tooth root canal systems, so that endodontic handpiece will engage these type of rotary files also, because they have the standard attachment to the rotary handpiece, that is this latch is there that fits in directly with the traditional handpieces, or the handpieces that we use for the endodontic practice of our regular adult patients. Okay, now the second thing over the shank that we see is the color coding. Now you see over here this blue color thing, there are different color codings. So this color coding is a deciding factor about, or the indicator for the tip size of the file. For example, blue color, as we have studied in our ISO standardizations of the color, then we refer to as white file is definitely referred to as by 50 number or 45 number. So basically on these type of things we get the color coding of the file, and it is an indicator of a tip size. Now we talk about the third thing is the working section of the file. Now this working section of the file is divided into two parts. One is the cutting part that contains the flutes. This is the cutting part up to here. Okay, then there is a non-cutting part. This non-cutting part generally engages the stopper, which can be brought to the cutting part to adjust the length of the canal, that or the working length that we desire to do the R preparation for the canal or extirpation of the pulp tissues. So this is the working section of the file. And now this working section in pediatric rotary files usually varies from 16 to 18 mm. Okay, so based on the average length of the roots, like 12 to 14 mm, this has been designed to be up to 16 to 18 mm, this whole working section of the file. Okay, so this was about the components of the pediatric rotary files. Now let us talk about the different things on these components. For example, in the working section we have the tip of the file. First thing, now this tip of the file is of two types. One you have seen is a sharp tip, and immediately that is sharp, and the second tip may be rounded. So the tip that is sharp is referred to as the cutting tip, or when it is blunt tip or the rounded tip, then it is referred to as the non-cutting tip. It is also referred to as the active tip if it is a cutting tip, or a passive tip if it is a non-cutting tip. Okay, now we talk about the second category, that is the taper. Now this taper is an important thing, as it is the flaring of the file. Right from the tip the file flares like a cone. Okay, so now this flaring is of three types. One is the constant taper, second thing is the progressive taper, and third thing is the variable taper. Okay, for example, I will explain you. Suppose you consider a 25 tip size file, okay, which is referred to as a 4% taper file, suppose an example. Now at the tip the file is having a cross-sectional diameter of 0.25. okay, now with every increase in the millimeter, or every progressing towards the bottom of the file from the tip, when we progress to the next millimeter, the file will increase by 0.04, that is the next would be 0.29. okay, and similarly next would be 0.33, and then further on. So this is constant increase in the taper of 4% from the tip of the file. So this is referred to as a constant taper file. What do we now understand by the progressive taper is that suppose in every millimeter of the file, now we consider few segments of the file. Suppose in a file we divide the file into few segments like initial 5 millimeters, then the middle 5 millimeters, and thereafter again 5 millimeters. So suppose we divide into 3 segments. So first initial 5 millimeters will have a 4% taper, that is the constant increase would be 25, 29, 33, 37, and then it would be a 6% increase over there, and like this 43, 49, 55, 61, and then it might be an 8% taper. So this is a progressing taper in few sections of the file. So this is referred to as the progressive taper. So we talked about the constant taper where only a constant increase in the percent, that is a 4% increase was there, and in a progressive taper segments of taper was there, that 4%, 6% or 8%. Now when we come to about the variable taper, it means that if the file is suppose a 25 tape size file, then at every millimeter there would be a change in taper. Either it would be 4%, then in next millimeter the file would show a 6% taper, then in the next millimeter the file would show again an 8% taper, then again in the next millimeter the file would show a 6% taper. So there would be a changing taper at every millimeter of the file as we go from the tip of the file further. So this was about the 3 things, that is the constant taper, progressive taper, and the variable taper. Okay, now the third thing that we talk about is the pitch of the file. Now the pitch of the file means the file that contains, you can say, a segment of the file or the rim of the file. For example, you have seen a screw. Okay, now you have seen a screw which you hit a hammer and that screw goes into the wall. So this screw has different types of rim at an equidistance. So this is referred to as a constant pitch, and if this screw has a pitch or the spirals on this pitch are not at equidistance, then the pitch is referred to as the variable pitch. So basically the spirals on that pitch are not constant, the pitch which is either constant or variable. So these were the 3 things, that is the tip, taper, and the pitch which is either constant or variable. Now the third thing that, or the fourth thing that we talk about is the helical angle. Okay, so what we understand by the helical angle is that when we take a long axis of this file right from the tip and the cutting edge of the file, that is this edge, this is referred to as a cutting edge of the file. So when we talk about the long axis of the tool and the cutting edge of the file, this one, so the angle made by this, or the imaginary line that we have drawn, the angle made by this is referred to as the helical angle. Okay, so this is deciding factor in the cutting efficiency of the file. Now the second thing is the fluid of the file. Now fluid of the file is a segment that contains 2 cutting edges. For example, one is this cutting edge and the second is this cutting edge. So in between this entire segment is referred to as the fluid of the file. Okay, now the next thing that we talk about is the rake angle of the file. Now what do we understand by the rake angle of the file is, suppose when we talk about this cutting edge of the file, now this cutting edge of the file, when we introduce this file into the root canal, then it makes an angle with the dentine surface. Okay, so this cutting edge which makes an angle with the dentine surface, if that angle is made acute, that is lesser than 90 degree, then it is referred to as the negative rake angle, and this negative rake angle leads to the scraping action. Okay, while if this cutting edge makes an obtuse angle or the greater than 90 degree angle with the dentine surface, then that angle is referred to as the positive rake angle, and this positive rake angle leads to the cutting efficiency of the file or the cutting tendency of the file. Okay, now for example, you can consider a finishing file. That is, a finishing file can be considered to be a negative angle or having a negative rake angle, while a shaping file which leads to the cutting can be referred to as the file having a positive rake angle. Okay, so these were the different points that we talked about. One was the helical angle, that was along the long axis, and the cutting edge, the angle made by them. Then the flute between the two cutting edges, the segment. Then the cutting edge, that was a line or the leading edge that we refer to it. Then there was a rake angle, which can be either negative, either positive. The negative angle can lead to this finishing action or scraping action. Positive angle can lead to the cutting efficiency of the file. For example, negative angle can be considered by a finishing file, and the positive angle can be considered by a shaping file. Also, there is a rake angle, which is referred to as the neutral rake angle, which is the dentine surface and the cutting edge, or there is either no cutting edge like in a spreader. So this is different types of rake angles. Now let us talk about one of the most interesting thing, that is referred to as the shape memory and the control memory. So there are two memories of the file, which are the shape memory and control memory. Suppose we consider the original file that we get out of the box. It is a state file, okay, that is in the original shape. Now we try to bend the file. Okay, we bend the file. Okay, when we turn and bend the file, what happens after bending and we leave the file at a place? What happens is the file regains the original shape. The final shape of the file is it regains the original shape that was right from the box that we had taken. So this immediately it regains the shape. This is referred to as the shape memory, that is the shape it has already memorized and it has regained that shape. Okay, however, if file retains the new bent shape, that is it is retaining the new shape, then it is referred to as the control memory. Control memory files are useful in cases of highly curved canal, so that we can, when we take out the file, it is into that curved anatomy of the root canal anatomy shape of the canal. So this file is in exactly that shape. So this is some of the clinical significance of the shape memory and the control memory. Okay, now let's proceed further. Now there are different things about to be considered for the pediatric rotary file, especially related to the Kido file system. Okay, now the first file that we are seeing over here is a nickel titanium file. Okay, now this nickel titanium file was later on given a heat treatment so that it has an increased bending efficiency. Okay, so the heat treatment was done, and later on this file was further modified by giving a nickel titanium file a heat treatment, along with that a titanium oxide coating. This was done to increase the cutting efficiency of the file. So these were the three different categories of the pediatric rotary files in case of the Kido file system, and in general the other systems also. So this was all about it, the pediatric rotary file that we need to understand. You can please subscribe to my channel on YouTube, A to Z Kids Center, by clicking on the red subscribe button below this video. You can follow us on Twitter also. My Twitter ID is A2Z_Kids Dental. You can follow us on Facebook page A to Z Kids Dental, or you can follow us on Instagram, where I post regular updates about my videos and about any new pictures, any new information. So Instagram you can follow by A2Z_Kids Center. So this was all about this. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye, take care.